Good evening and welcome to a new program called To The Point. Every weekday from Monday to Friday, we'll bring you the top stories in the news, aim of helping you understand them better. We'll reveal facts that have been ignored, explore different interpretations, and present the best analysis. But tonight, for the first episode, we have a truly special program, an exclusive opinion poll on which way the voters of Delhi are leaning and how they view the political parties. Over the next 1 hour, we'll give you the most up-to-date and accurate idea of how Delhi will vote on April the 10th. Now, to analyze the poll results and discuss what they mean, I'm joined by Headline Today's cephalogist Ashok Lahiri, the well-known senior journalist Nalini Singh, and India's top sociologist Ashish Nandi. Later in this program, we shall also have the chairman of the Hindu group, N. Ram, and top politicians from the main parties. But first, here's my colleague Sanket Upadhyay with what the polls suggest about the mood of the Delhi voter.
Absolutely, Karan. In fact, before we show you the mood, let's also quickly take you through the methodology of this Cicero India Today exclusive opinion poll that has in fact been carried out. Of course, it involves field work for the survey conducted on the 27th and the 28th of March of this very year. The methodology also includes interview that was conducted using standard structured schedule. A total of 1,188 interviews were conducted across 80 locations across the city. 40 out of the 70 constituencies of Delhi were sampled. Respondents selected from official electoral rolls. And now for the mood of the Delhi voter, the first question that we asked to our respondents was, are you satisfied with UPA government's performance in the last 10 years? And this is the result that we have. 41% say they were satisfied, 58% say they were dissatisfied, 1% had no opinion. The next question that we actually asked them was community-wise breakup of which party they would actually like to vote for. The Brahmins, 20% for the Congress, 49% for the BJP, 23% for AAP. And this list it goes on and on. There are Punjabi Khatris who were profiled, Vaishyas, other upper caste, Jat, other OBCs, Dalits, Muslims, Sikhs. The interesting takeaway from this particular survey was predominantly under all these categories, or for all the castes that we had in fact profiled, most of them prefer BJP as their first choice, Aam Aadmi Party as their second choice. But interestingly, for the Muslims, the figure for the Congress is 41%, the figure for the BJP is 15%, and the figure for Aam Aadmi Party is 27%. So barring Muslims, it seems all other communities prefer the BJP first, then the Aam Aadmi Party, followed thirdly by the Congress.
Thank you, Sanket. Ashok Lahiri, let's start with that figure of 41% satisfaction with 10 years of UPA rule. To me, it seems surprisingly high. Or to put it the other way around, I'm surprised that the dissatisfaction level isn't higher than 58%. How do you explain that particular finding?
The figure should be read in broad terms. What I see is that for every 3 people that are dissatisfied, there are 3 people who are dissatisfied, 2 are satisfied. The research shows that when you ask me a question on which I'm not really very well informed, I tend to acquiesce. For example, you ask me, what do I feel about this soup? And I haven't really thought about it. I find it culturally polite to say that I'm satisfied.
So in other words, this is an answer that reflects people not really thinking hard about what they're saying, and therefore this is an answer of satisfaction versus dissatisfaction that we should be careful about.
The 2 other points that Karan I'll make. One is that if you look at what the polls were saying earlier about Sheila Dikshit or Nitish Kumar, satisfaction was 65, 60%, 70%. Now dissatisfaction is much higher than that. So look at it dynamically. Second, don't forget Delhi is different from India. The per capita income is about 2.5 times higher at 1,36,000. Even infrastructure is much better in Delhi.
I'm interrupting you. You're saying because of per capita income levels being higher in Delhi, people's satisfaction with the UPA government could be higher in Delhi than it is elsewhere in the country.
Because the dissatisfaction will be higher the lower your income is or more unemployed you are and so on.
Nalini Singh, To what extent is what I still insist on calling a surprisingly high satisfaction level a reflection of the fact that we've had disappointment in Delhi, if not disillusionment, with the Aam Aadmi Party government, for not just the reason that it lasted barely 49 days, but also Santosh Bharti's behavior, Arvind Kejriwal's very controversial dharna. Is that one reason why, with hindsight, satisfaction with UPA looks higher than one would expect?
You know, as Ashok was speaking, this is what was on my mind, that perhaps it is the fact that we had a government that lasted 49 days, did something in the categories that you have so far talked about, the Brahmins, the Khatris, slightly the upper class, if I may say, not only the upper caste. So these people are saying that they did not deliver, that this is a government that did not deliver, the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi. So in any case, you know, there is a central government which we have been enduring for the last 10 years, so it would be a 41%. But the fact that these people are looking at the future, not only these but the others that you have also interviewed, that 58 to me seems to be, you know, I would have expected it somewhere in the 60s, the low 60s. So my kind of question mark is about 5%. So if you're going to say plus minus 5%, I'll be all right. But otherwise, I'm a little bit...
So there's an interesting lesson over here. Delhi views UPA a little better than one would expect it because of its disillusionment with Arvind Kejriwal's experiment of 49 days.
But you know, how can one Delhi government, one 49-day-old government, change things so much in people's minds about the central government? I'm also wondering.
Absolutely. That's one of the perplexities that this poll throws up. And obviously, we need to go back to the people to find out the answer, although we can speculate. And when one speculates, Ashish Nandi, one of the findings that struck me is one of the ones that Sanket was referring to when he was talking about how different communities had indicated their voting preferences, and that is how the Sikh community breaks up. 44% say they will vote for BJP, 26% for Congress, 24% for AAP. Does AAP's third position indicate that the SIT that Arvind Kejriwal appointed to inquire into the 1984 riots, when he said that Congress simply hadn't done enough, has not actually won him a significant proportion of Sikh support?
Yes, perhaps not. It is probably too late in the day. People are tired of the whole issue. Perhaps. One can only guess. But one general point I would like to make at the beginning of this program, that India is such a diverse society that every policy input, every initiative you take differentially affect different parts of the society. As a result, what pleases some people enormously displeases others also.
That's absolutely true. But Arvind Kejriwal designed the SIT proposal as a specific way of appealing to Sikh voters. He believed that this would actually give them the sense of justice that they'd been denied. He blamed the Congress government for having overlooked that particular concern. And now the poll results suggest that he's actually in third position as far as the Sikh voter is concerned. So has he actually failed to understand what the Sikhs wanted and mistaken the fact that Congress hasn't acted as something the Sikhs wanted them to do?
For all you know, Sikhs might think that the real contest is between Congress and BJP, and Kejriwal is just a third party intervention of some...
You're saying something very interesting. You're saying that actually over time, Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi, which were considered to be a front runner, are now becoming a bit of an irrelevance. Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm suggesting that they are now being seen more and more as a third party, which they in reality probably were from the beginning.